And these are some of the things that people who have gone into pig farming before now have encountered as problems. I'm saying you are able to run a pig farm, but then the problem is when the pigs are matured, a ready market to deliver them to and generate revenue. That has been a major concern. So those are part of the things that we've been able to do to increase the pig farming value chain. And also we've made it possible for our financial partners. Now, we have people that have interest in pig farming, but mostly because of their schedules or finances, they cannot go into pig farming head on at the scale that they want. Now I'm saying establishing a farm, the facilities, equipment and what have you that is required all the time. So what they do is they partner with their funds, they do the farming, and then at the end of the cycle, they get their funds back with a return on investment. Basically, we run a partnership plan between 250,000 naira to 5 million. So any other partnership above 5 million we break down into any of the existing plans. We have 250, 500,000, 1 million, and 5 million. 15%, 20%, 25%, and 30%, all in 11 months. But I'm not going to dwell too much on that. Also, our products, the pork products, are readily available in stores around. I'm just giving this background information to further open your minds and believe again that pig farming is actually a viable and profitable venture. So what we are going to bring today basically is we are bringing one of our consultants who has a lot of experience in pig farming. So he's going to be taking you on a journey on how to create a successful and profitable pig business. And then hopefully at the end of the session, we must have been able to give you good value for the time that you've taken out to be here today in the midst of Lagos traffic and the whole Christmas season that is in the air. So without wasting much of your time, I would like to call on Mr. Ayodele Omire, who is going to be in charge. You are in good hands, so please have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Good morning. Yeah, as rightly said, my name is Ayodele Omire. I'm the lead consultant for Pork Hub Limited. At the end of the program, at the training, I believe we should be able to have a better understanding on how to run a profitable pig farm business. So the objective of today is to have an understanding on how to build a profitable pig farming business. And what is the scope? By the end of this training, we expect that we should all be conversant with the principles of building a profitable pig farming business, the housing, the breeds, the value chain. I'm sure here we have both existing and new pig farmers here. So in the course of the training, we'll be mentioning some terms that might not be very familiar with, that we are not very familiar with. So these are just some of them. So I will start with pig farming for those that are new in the business or that do not have much knowledge about it. It is the raising and breeding of domestic pigs for commercial purposes. Pigs are being raised for different reasons, but for this training, we are discussing on how to raise pigs for commercial purposes. Building, what does it mean to build? To create or to establish. Profitable, business activity resulting in financial gain. Business, a regular occupation, profession, or trade. So here we are talking about, yes, I want to become a professional and expert in raising pigs for commercial purposes. When we say swine, what do we mean by swine? Swine is when we are talking about different species as a whole. We have different species of pigs together. We call them swine. Piglet. A piglet is an unweaned young pig. A pig that is still with the mother breastfeeding, we call them piglets. When we say wean, that means that they are still breastfeeding. The moment we take them from their mother, they become weaners. We have weaned them from their mother. So here we are referring to piglets. They are unweaned young pig, and they vary from between day 1 to 6 weeks. The boa. Boa is the male pig of breeding age. Boa is a male pig of breeding age. That means that the boa is able to mate a female pig. When we say barrow or castrate, that is a castrated male pig before puberty. A castrated male pig before puberty. That means that the male pig has been castrated between the first week of life and the first week and the 8th week. So that's what we call a castrated male pig before puberty. Because normally we don't keep all the male pigs on the farm without castrating them, because it's going to cause a lot of problems for us. That is number one. Number two, the weight gain is going to be very, very low, because they are always yearning to mate. So the moment we castrate, all they are thinking of is just, I want to eat and sleep. But as far as they are not castrated, they are looking for females. And male pigs can be very, very hyper at times. If a female pig that is on heat is far away, they can smell, they can perceive the heat. So they would find their way, they can jump to meet the female pig. That is why if you want peace on the farm, it's better you just castrate the male pigs and just leave 1 or 2 that you'll be using for reproduction. So the stag, that is the male pig that is castrated later in life. That is to say that, okay, I've decided to keep this male pig for reproduction, but along the line I realized that this male pig cannot serve the purpose for which I have kept it. Because for you to reserve a male pig, there are some traits that you would have seen in that male pig at the tender age that is okay. Because even at 2 weeks, when they are still piglets, you see them trying to mount the smaller ones. So with that one, we know that this particular one has a good trait to be a good boa. But at times we might be wrong, or probably those things that we saw at the initial stage might not exist later in future. So if later in future you realize that, okay, I've introduced a female to this male pig that I assume that is going to be very, very active, and the male pig is just sleeping and eating and just looking at the female pig, then we can still castrate. That is a male pig that has been castrated later in life, to say, don't waste my time, let me castrate you so that you can gain weight and go to the market. Then sow. Sow is a breeding female. That is a female that is pregnant, that is giving birth, is a sow. The gilt. The gilt is a young female, not yet mated, in quotes, a virgin pig. Pork, the meat of pigs. Farrowing, the pig birthing process. When a pig is giving birth, we call that process farrowing process. My pig is farrowing, that means it's giving birth. Then the pig pen, that is a pig house. Where the pig stays is called a pig pen. So yes, I'm sure that a lot of us will be wondering, of all animals, of all sources of protein, why pig? Why pig? Why pig? Yes, pig is the most consumed meat in the world. Pig is the most consumed meat all over the world. You can look at the statistics here on the screen. It's only chicken that might be higher than pork. Pork is taking about 143 trillion tons that will be consumed by the year 2050. So we are in the right class now, so that we can also be part of those that would be trading, that will be supplying that 143 tons that will be consumed in the year 2050. Then why pig? Why pig? Why pig? Why do we have to go into pig farming? Ability for pigs to feed on food waste and byproducts. These are some of the reasons why pig farming is very, very interesting, and why it is also very lucrative. Pigs have the ability to feed on food waste and byproducts. the high reproduction rate. Yes, pigs are one of the most reproductive animals all over the world. All over the world, they are one of the highest reproductive animal. A pig can give birth to as high as 20 piglets. At least I've witnessed 21 piglets. Sir? 32. I don't know of 32, but at least I've witnessed 21. That 32, well, I don't know. So some of these things that we see in pictures, if you don't experience them live, please ignore them, because there's no how you have seen it. Okay, thank you. Because there's even no how the pig will be able to breastfeed 32 piglets, because the highest teeth or nipple that the pig can has is like maybe 10. Sir? Okay, they lost some overnight. Okay. So the reproduction rate is very, very high, and they also have the ability to give birth twice in a year, because the gestation period for pigs is 3 months, 3 weeks, and 3 days. That is approximately 114 days. And a pig born today has the capacity to reach 100 kg in 6-7 months, because normally we expect that on the average, a pig should be able to attain 0.5 kg every day. So that is 15 kg minimum in a month. 15 kg minimum in a month. Feed conversion rate, yes, that also has to do with the growth rate. Feed, they eat heavily, and they have the ability to convert whatever they eat into flesh, into bones, into energy. Pig farming is one of the most lucrative, as I've said earlier. An average of 70 kg pig can sell as high as 33,600 naira. So you can even see that, even because we have to trace it down to the root. If the pig can reproduce twice in a year, the pig has the ability to even feed on byproduct and waste, then how do we sell the pig? How much are we selling the pig? That's also very, very important. So here, as of today, the live weight, the price for live weight is 480 naira per kilogram. 480 naira per kilogram. So a 70 kg pig will go for 33,600 naira. And this same pig, when you decide to even add more value to it, it's okay. I don't want to sell it at the live weight. I want to slaughter it. We have a lot of people on Instagram that do meat sharing. So you can try to say, okay, I want to start selling my own. I don't want to sell my pork live. I want to slaughter it and then sell online. So you can try to time yourself CC LLD or something and slaughter the pigs. Go online and say, okay, this Saturday I'll be distributing pork wherever you are in Lagos State. I will distribute. I can deliver my pork to you. And people say, okay, give me 2 kg, give me 3 kg. So with that, you are making almost double of that money, because the pig will go for 1,002. That is the minimum. Some sell as high as 1,500 naira per kilogram. So you can even make double of what you would have even made selling the pig live. So either way, either you are selling live or you are selling the processed pig, you will still make your good profit. So to say a projection to rear 100 pigs to maturity will give a turnover close to 3.5 million naira. So we are saying that if you have the capacity, you have the capital, and every other thing is available for you to raise 100 pig, you can sell as high, you can make a turnover of 3.5 million naira from those pigs. And we are saying, if you can even say, okay, this year I'm going to sell 1,000 pigs, you can make as high as 35 million naira from the sales of those pigs. I'm also sure that you'll be thinking, where will I sell my pigs? If I go on Instagram and people don't buy, what will I do? After rearing these pigs and people don't, and where exactly am I? It's not like I can mention the few markets that you will get to in Lagos State and you will find pork being sold. Maybe Sunday markets and a few markets, Ajegunle, just few markets in Lagos State. Every information that I'm giving here is not hearsay. These are information that I'm practically involved in. I have customers that come from Cotonou to come and buy these pigs. Fine, I'm sure people might be thinking, how will they carry pigs from here to Cotonou? Yes, it is very possible. When they get to a part of Idiroko, they drive the pigs very close to a river. They push them into a very big ferry, canoe, and they move them into Cotonou. So people come all the way from Cotonou to come and buy pigs in Nigeria. That is tell you how lucrative this business can be. We have the retailers. Who are the retailers? For all the pork that you see, ShopRite, supermarkets, fast food, eateries. What does it take to start the business? Basically, three major things. How do we house them? Pigs cannot be kept. You cannot decide to raise pigs behind your house, inside your compound. It's not possible because the government has only dedicated places where you can raise pigs. It's not like chicken. So housing is the first thing that should be considered. Then we go into the breeds. What kind of breeds do I need on my farm? What exactly am I going into? Am I going into fattening and then breeding, or I want to combine the two, or I just want to do breeding? Then the feed and the water. Those are also very important things that we should also consider, because in siting our farm, we should consider how close are we to the inputs. If Mr. A decides to site his pig farm very close to where he spends little or nothing to get inputs to his farm, Mr. B decides to go far away from where the inputs are, and Mr. B spends a lot of money to get inputs to the farm. Mr. A and Mr. B are going to sell the pig at the same price. So at the end of the day, Mr. A makes more profit because he has decided to site his pigs very close to where he can get input. So it is important that when siting our farm, we should consider how close are we to inputs. Housing. So now we are going into the housing properly. Pigs cannot be reared close to where humans live because of the stench. That is not possible. You have to site your farm a bit far away from where humans reside because of the stench. In considering where to house our pigs, you may have to consider, you may have many options of pig farm settlements in various parts of Lagos or Osun. We have farm settlements in different places. We have in Berigwe, owned by Lagos State. The Okaro is in Ogun State, but it's been owned by the Lagos State government as well. And we also have these farm settlements in different places all over, with about 3,000 farmers selling over 1,500 pigs every week. That is just even on the average. There are some weeks that it can shoot higher than 1,500. Yes, two options of how to house your pigs. You can decide to rent a pen or purchase one. All in all, please contact a professional practicing pig farmer. You know, I didn't say contact a practicing pig farmer. I put professional there before you take decisions on where and how to house your pigs. Why did I say so? If we need 30 bags of cement to construct this room for human beings to live, for pigs it is double that cement, because their snot, they can use that snot to bring down a whole building if that building is not properly built. So we don't just take bricklayers that build houses to go and build pig pens. No, we have to use bricklayers that know how to construct a pig pen to construct the farm for you. On this slide, we'll be talking about the breeds. Two things need to be considered before stocking your pen. Healthy stock from a recommended farm. Healthy stock from a recommended farm and traceable history of the stock. Why are these very important for us to consider? There are some factors that might affect the growth of your pigs. One of those factors is what we call inbreeding. What do I mean by inbreeding? Inbreeding is when you use animals of the same lineage, of the same parents, to mate each other. That is what we call inbreeding in pig farming. This can result to stunted growth. It can result to the piglets giving birth to the sow giving birth to blind piglets. It can result to the effects are very negative, but the thing is that the effect does not come immediately. It might come in 4, 5, 6 years. So it is very important that we trace we know the history of the farm where we are buying our pigs from. In those days, when our parents used to rear pigs, we just put the male and the female together from the same parents. They mate each other. Nobody is taking note of the lineage and everything. And after a while, the negative effects started becoming so much, until when we, the younger ones, now came into the business. Now had to start, okay, what are the causes of some of these things? That how will a pig that is supposed to be sold at 100 kg is giving me 50 kg, is giving me 60 kg, and the pig is eating well. So some of these things made us to go into a research, and we realized that inbreeding are some of these causes. So healthy stock from a recommended farm is very, very important for us to start our pig farm. Then the history of the stock. What history do those animals have? Do they have the history of always crushing on their piglets? Do they have the history of eating their piglets? Do they have the history of always destroying the pens? These are very, very important histories that we should know before we stock our farm. Then you could also say, okay, what is the minimum weight that these pigs acquire in a month? So all of these things are important things that we should ask from a good farm before we decide to go and buy those pigs from the farm. Then pigs are categorized into piglets, winners, growers, and finishers. Our piglets are from day 1 to 6 weeks. That is when they are still sucking. They are with their mothers. The winners, that is when we are taking them away from their mothers, from the sows. At that stage, they are between 6 weeks to 10 weeks. The piglet stage is a very, very critical stage, because up to date, piglet mortality is still one of the highest factors that can negatively affect the farm. Because as interesting as it is that pigs can give birth to 20, 15, 13, 12, how many of these piglets can we win at 6 weeks? That is very, very important. Some of these piglets, some of them die in the first week, in the first few days, because here in Nigeria, we do not have some of the facilities to handle the first 2 weeks of their lives. What are the things that we need to handle, the things that should be available for them in the first 2 weeks of their lives? Because their immunity is still very low, because their skin cannot withstand that cold weather that we have here. Yes, we are going to water now. Water is also very, very important. Like they would say, water no get enemy. Pigs need a lot of water. Pigs need a lot of water. Water, you cannot run a pig farm without water. That is totally impossible. You cannot run a pig farm without water. What do they need this water for? They need water to cool their body, because pigs don't have sweat pores. They don't sweat the way human beings sweat. So they have the tendency to be very, very hot. A lot of people will say pigs are dirty because they use their snout to dig and make the whole place look untidy. They are not dirty. They are actually trying to dig so that they can find a cool place to cool their body. At times they use those mud to cool, just use the mud to cool their body. So today, if they dig a little today and they can cool their body today, tomorrow they are going deeper. Next tomorrow they are going deeper. So when we now say, these pigs are so dirty, they are not dirty. They are only trying to make life easy for themselves. So water is very, very important for this for pigs. They also need to drink a lot of water. When you see a pig urinating, it can urinate for 2 minutes. The water will keep on flowing, as in a big pig. So you can imagine the amount of water that pig has taken before it can pass out that amount of urine. So it is important that we make sure that we have enough water for our pigs. You can see the pig in the first diagram is drinking from a nipple drinker. What's a nipple drinker? It's like an automated water system for pigs. So the moment the pig is thirsty, you just put the mouth on the small iron that is shooting out of the wall. Pigs are very inquisitive. By the time you put anything that is new into their rooms, they will go there and investigate. So when the pig is thirsty, they just go to the nipple drinker and they have cool and fresh water to drink. You should also know that the source of water must be very, very clean. Any water that you cannot drink, please don't give it to your pigs to drink. You also need to take very, very clean water. Very clean water. So, I'm sure you'll be thinking, what are the equipment that I even need to start this pig farm? You can see, these are just basic equipment. I'm sure if we even search our houses, a lot of us will come out with this. We'll have these equipment in our houses. We don't even need to go and buy. We need our shovel to mix their feed. We need the packer to pack the feces. We need the buckets to serve them food. We need our rain boots and overall, the overall at least to protect our clothes, the boots to shield our legs, and we also need a broom to sweep and wash the floor of the farm. So these are the basic equipment that we need. We don't need any other equipment or anything that is beyond all of this to site our pig farm, on our pig farm. Next slide. Yes, two aspects of pig farming. We only have two major aspects. What are the two major aspects? Fattening and breeding. What is fattening? Fattening is rearing of pigs from piglets to maturity. For the Yorubas, we call it abota. I'm only feeding you to sell. You don't have any other work that you want to do for me. Just continue eating and eating till you attain the good weight, and I'm selling you off to the market. So that's what we call fattening. Breeding, that is mating sows with boas for reproduction. You can see it here. The first diagram, that is a boa mounting a sow. The second diagram is a sow breastfeeding the piglets, and the third one is a fattening room where we have a lot of fatteners, pigs that are just meant to be slaughtered for consumption. So fattening. In fattening our animals, there's something we call the ad libitum process of feeding the pigs. That means that the pigs eat 24 hours. Not 24 hours per se, but at least there must be feed available all the time. That is the best way that the pigs can achieve the desired weight within that period, within a stipulated period. The pig needs to eat very well and all the time, because pigs, the men they eat now, and then they sleep and they wake up and there is no feed again, and they need to start making noise, walking all around the room looking for feed or for food, or trying to call your attention. In that process, they're also burning the little energy that they've been able to realize, maybe from the feed you gave them in the morning. So for fatteners, the system of feeding is ad libitum. They must continue eating. It's not morning food or afternoon food. No. The moment you pour the food in the morning, at least every 1 hour, you must go and check. Yes. Every 1 hour, you must go and check. And you must not, the feed must not, they must not finish the small one remaining before you add more to it. By the time you see that, before I come back the next 1 hour, maybe it's 1 o'clock, and I'm getting there, I realize that, okay, this one will not take them till 2 o'clock. You need to put more. That's so that by 2 o'clock, if you now come and realize, okay, this one can take them till 3 o'clock, then there is no need. Or it can't take them till 3 o'clock, you have to add more. That is for fatteners. We call it ad libitum. They must continue eating in such a way they will be able to achieve whatever weight that you are targeting within that short period. For breeding pigs too, yes, they also need to eat very well. they eat lesser, but at the same time we also make sure that there is enough food available for them, because the quality and quantity of feed that we give our breeding sows determines their output. It determines the litters. When we say litters, the piglets that they would give birth to. There are some that will give birth to some piglets, and when you see them, in fact, they are already looking like 2 weeks old piglets, and they are just they were just born today. So the quality and the quantity of feed that we give to our sows is also very, very important. Yes, I term this one, what no one will tell you about the pig farming business. What no one will tell you about the pig farming business. Here we'll be talking about the value chain. We'll be talking about the value chain in pig farming business. The value chain in pig farming business is inexhaustible. We cannot exhaust it. We cannot exhaust the value chain in pig farming business. Here, this is a pig farm. So, Mr. A is a major player in pig production. He only goes to his farm, takes care of his animals, and sells them off. But if Mr. A decides that I want to make more profit from this business, Mr. A can decide to be a major player in other aspects of pig farming. What are other aspects of pig farming? Mr. A can decide to say, okay, I want to also play in the slaughterhouse value chain of this business. To say, okay, I have a farm in Ifo. I want to have a small abattoir around Ifo where people can always come and buy pork from me. We have some farms that operate on only Saturdays, only Sundays. We have the Sunday market. For those that stay around Ogba, if you know Sunday market is where all the Chinese in Lagos, where they buy their pork from on Sundays. As early as 6 a.m, you see those Chinese people coming in with buses from Ibafo, from Mowe, from Aton, from different parts where they have their factories. They come to Sunday market every Sunday to come and shop for pork. They come there every Sunday morning to come and shop for pork. Then, if you decide, okay, you don't want to play in that aspect, you can decide to go to the next one, into the processing. Exactly what porkmoney is doing, sausages. If you know the amount of sausages that we consume in Nigeria on a monthly basis, you'll be surprised. Now we have shawarma spots almost on every street in Lagos. Nobody can, all the shawarmas that you see, they have sausages inside them. You can decide, it's okay, I want to go into processing of this pork into sausages, into bacon, into all kind of other products. Then we have the next one. The first one is the feed production. Yes, feed production. That is like one of the largest part of the value chain, because this feed production consists of a lot of materials, a lot of input. You can decide to say, I want to be importing maize from, we have a lot of these grains in neighboring countries. But still, you can decide to say, okay, I want to bring in some of these inputs into the farm. So you can decide to be a player in the feed production, because these items they are numerous. PKC, palm kernel cake. In some part of Nigeria, they are they are available and cheap, but because of the demand in southwest here, it is expensive. So you can decide to say, okay, I'm from Bayelsa, I'm from Ondo State, I'm from Benin. These are some of the places that you have it, and is readily available. In those parts of the country where we have a lot of palm kernel. So you can start to say, okay, I want to be a player in PKC. I know people that they don't wear animal, all they do is just, okay, I want to be supplying PKC, and they are good to go. I want to be supplying West Spain grain, they are good to go. I want to be supplying cassava peels, they are good to go. I want to be supplying blood from abattoir. Our cost of medication, 30,000 naira for 6 months. cost of labor 60,000 naira. Other expenses, security for 6 months 3,000, electricity for 6 months 6,000, petrol at the times that there won't be light 12,000 for those 6 months, miscellaneous 50,000 naira. Our total expenses after 6 months would be 1,966,000 naira. We'll take questions.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You had a good presentation. What I wanted to ask concerning that of the pen, you made mention of after the pen, because if anyone is going to go into this pig farming, the pen, it's a crucial aspect of it, because without the pen, this cannot go. And when you did your cost and you were talking about your profit, for some of us who are starting afresh, without the pen, I think that your net profit, you might be having a deficit.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. The third item is cost of housing for 6 months.
Let me take.
So either it's your own or it's not your own. You have to put in the cost of housing them.
I want to know why the mortality rate of pig is high, because I have a farm, so when I have like 3 sow that put to bed, so each of them put to have like a 10 piglets. So among the 3, that's making 30, it's only 5 that survived. Only 5 from 30 survived, according to what the attendant told me. So for me to visit the farm, that was last week Saturday. She told me that the remaining 5, there is only 1 that is left. So I was upset with her. In fact, I've already made a decision that I'm ending this farming business by February. I will sell everything, because it's not encouraging at all. I don't know.
Yes, well, to answer your question, you've gotten some answers, but I will add more to those answers. Like someone said, your time. You need to be available as a pig farmer. If not even every day, but at least most of the time, you should be available. A lot of things could amount to the piglet mortality. Number 1, what are they eating? What are you giving them? Medication is even a small aspect. What are they eating? Because if these piglets eat the normal feed that you have been giving the sow before it put to bed, and you consume that feed, be sure that you will lose all of them. Not even one will survive it. Because number 1, the protein level of that feed is high, and it will be too much for them. Don't forget that they are also breastfeeding. What we give our pigs when they put to bed, madam, are you listening? When they put to bed, you have to take away every other thing and remain on, if you are using West Pen grain, remain on West Pen grain and maize.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a wonderful time. I want to ask, because the presentation seems beautiful and the business seems good. Though some questions have been raised concerning the risk, I want to ask if there's any other challenge that one needs to look at if you want to go into pig farming. Because if it's as profitable and wonderful like this, why are many people not doing it yet? Maybe there's a hidden something you face in reality, something apart from the ones that have been raised. I just want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Your question, I would answer. It's not even that people are not going into it, But another aspect I don't even know is that people are going into it and they're even going out of it. That is why the topic of this is building a profitable. We're not saying building a pig farm.